This is Uncover the Music, the only podcast devoted to Barrie's local music scene, presented by barrieuncovered.ca. So this is Uncover the Music with Madison Mueller, who is joining us at the luxurious Fred Grant Square of Meridian Place, but it's pouring rain. But we're under the stage, so we're okay.
Yes,
Thank you for coming, Madison.
Thank you so much for having me. Thanks for taking the time.
So you've done a lot of media, some TV, some radio. Have you done a podcast yet?
I think I have. I think I've done a few podcasts, but they kind of broadcasted as radio.
Right, okay. So this is your first podcast.
Pretty much.
Yeah, very interesting. So it'll be fun. So it's a big year for you. You won an award, like the last calendar year.
Yes.
You won an award. You've been on TV.
Yeah,
you were
it's
part of
crazy.
Pretty crazy. You were part of a rock festival that got canceled.
Oh, yes.
So you kind of run the gamut of experience over the last year.
No kidding. It's been a lot of ups and downs and downs.
So what's stuck out for you the most over this last year that you think you really...
I think over the past year, I think one of the biggest things was probably heading down to Nashville in Tennessee to do the Josie Awards down there. I was nominated for 4 awards down there for 2018, and I ended up taking home Young Adult Artist of the Year, which was pretty huge. I wasn't expecting it at all. Kind of had to stop and remember what my name was when it was called. So I got to do the whole red carpet thing down there, and I got to just really do the whole experience of what that's all like, and it was really cool.
So we're going to talk about that because that is very cool. We're going to talk about the awards.
For sure.
But thinking about the sort of the past year as well, how do you think you've changed as a musician, as a person? Because there's a lot of experience in the course of 12 months.
Yeah, I think I've started to take myself a little bit more seriously. It's been a lot over the past year, considering I was in high school up until June of last year. And that's all I really ever knew was school and music, and now it's solely music. So getting to do all those really amazing things and get all these great opportunities it's really shown me that, I need to foster it more and really put the time into it, because I think there could be something there, and I think I've grown some confidence in myself. So.
Winning awards will do that for you. But
yeah.
So you're also part of the Emerging Musicians program here in Barrie, in Ontario.
Yes.
And that's really cool. Tell us more about what that is.
Oh, the Emerging Musicians program. It's a really fantastic program. This is the second year it's been running, and I was a part of it for the first year as well. We've got a lot more artists this year, and it's pretty much an entire program directed towards independent artists. And the program helps us year-round, but for the summer program, it's a full, almost like a course that you're taking. We get to do training 2 days of the week, and then the other hours that we have during the week, we fill it with performing and learning more about our craft, and then we get paid for it as well, which is pretty huge as a musician.
That is fantastic. Get paid
really
as a musician at all, and on top of that to be as you're sort of learning your craft.
Yeah.
And you guys perform Tuesdays and Thursdays sort of downtown and around, right?
Yes, Tuesdays and Thursdays we're at Meridian Place, and other than that we're playing all the time, especially on the weekends. We're in the different constituencies this year. Last year it only ran in Barrie, Innisfil, but now we've got Barrie, Innisfil, Penetang, Midland, and Collingwood, Wasaga.
It's okay. He's just he wants to be a part of it. Now
That's all right.
That's okay. So we were talking about the Emerging Musicians program.
Yes.
There's a lot of diverse, I've heard a lot of them, but there's a lot of diverse sort of styles there.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And how would you categorize your style?
My style, I think if I was to put it in the broadest way possible, singer-songwriter, but that can encompass a lot of things. But I'd probably say along the lines of like a contemporary folk. I like doing a lot of popular covers that people are gonna like, but I like to spice it up with ones that they'll never guess from me. I've got some Alice in Chains, and then I've got Jason Mraz in there too. So it's a whole big spectrum of different songs.
Smorgasbord.
Yes,
yeah.
exactly.
So who would you say were influences when you were growing up and developing as a musician?
I was a major classic rock fan for a majority of my life. I didn't like to deter from that very much. When I was 6, my favorite artist was Neil Diamond, and then from there I became a really big Queen fan in my pre-teen years, and I'm a big fan of Genesis currently, Peter Gabriel and stuff like that. But yeah, huge classic rock influences there. I'm a big Joni Mitchell fan as well. You can see that in a lot of my writing that I do. I enjoy the way that she writes music. One of my favorites for sure. But then I also have a lot of influences currently that are new, alternative and stuff like that. I'm a big fan of Ben Howard, Bon Iver, 21 Pilots I'm a big fan of. So it's all over the place, really. Yeah.
It's interesting that you're influenced a lot by bands from the 80s and the 70s. Sort of, that sound is kind of, I guess, anthemic. Like it kind of carries on.
Oh, and it's coming back a lot lately. A lot of the 80s and the synth kind of pop stuff nowadays are definitely very influenced by the 80s.
It's kind of merging with the EDM, right? The EDM is so popular.
Yeah.
I think a lot of the bands are kind of seeing, as opposed to, I don't want any part of this. Like maybe we can incorporate a little bit of this in our sound,
exactly.
right?
Yeah, which is cool because I'm not totally into the full EDM stuff, but when it's slightly incorporated into some more lyrically involved stuff, I can get behind it for sure.
So we talked earlier, a couple of minutes ago, about winning the Josie Award.
Yes.
So tell us about winning that award. Everybody says, to be polite, well, I didn't really expect to win. Did you really not expect to win?
No, I completely didn't expect it. It was my first year going. It's been running, I think this is the 5th or 6th year. I want to say 5th.
And this is a big award. This is pretty much the biggest indie award show in North America.
It's the biggest independent award show in the world as far as that goes right now. So when I was nominated, it was already huge, and to be able to actually attend, I figured that was going to be the best out of it all. And there were a lot of really other talented artists in the categories, and it's not like your normal nominations. You had a very vast list of people, so much so that you couldn't really be like, nominated for this award is, and then you list the names. It was too big of a list, so I really didn't prepare myself to win. I didn't have any speech prepared, which would have been smart, but I didn't.
You didn't want to jinx it, right?
Didn't want to jinx it, but also I was happy to get the nominations. That was big enough for me, and I figured first year, probably not.
Yeah.
You know?
So when you're going up on stage, what was that like? Were you like, oh my God, I'm actually going up on stage? Were you cool? Were you stressed out? What was it like?
I was not cool at all, but hopefully people didn't notice too much. I had my shoe caught in my dress. So I was walking up there and I was like, shoot, I got my shoe stuck in my dress. I'm trying to untangle it as I'm going up there. But also, it's a long way away, so you're trying to stumble up there fast enough. I've got my shoe stuck in my dress. I get up there and then I realize I have to really say something. A lot going through my brain. Besides just, oh my gosh, I won an award. It's that whole walk up there. You're just a little bit nervous for sure, but it was a good time.
Could be the first many though. So the first time you getting the dress stuck in your shoe out of the way, and now you'll know next time to write an award speech or winner speech, right?
Maybe, yeah.
Right.
We'll have to see.
I want to ask you a little bit about social media because you're part of a generation that has now grown up. That basically you grew up with social media.
Pretty much, yeah.
But established artists and guys that have been around, and bands that have been around for a while, it kind of got dumped on them. And in a lot of cases, they don't like it, they don't know how to use it, they don't know the benefits of it. What's your take on it as somebody, because it's a great way to get your music directly to people, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but what's your view on it as sort of a tool as musicians can use?
It's a huge tool. Like, I can bash on social media as well because it's frustrating to use, and a lot of times I have to be reminded to use it to my full advantage because I like to keep my phone away from me sometimes. But there is so much that you can do with social media nowadays that you couldn't do back in the day. Like, being an independent musician is so much easier to do. Back in the day, a lot of the record labels would be doing all the promoting, doing everything that you need to really build that audience, and you're able to do that now. And that's where it's more difficult to get record deals and stuff, because record companies want to see that you've got that audience before they even sign you. So there's wins and losses with it. But I do think if you want to reach people, if you want to get your music out there, you have a lot more ability to do that nowadays, as long as you use it to the right advantage.
So we're going to hear a song now. Tell us about it. This is Exhale. Tell
Exhale.
us how you wrote it, what it's about. Tell us more about it.
Yeah, Exhale is my most recent release. It was written kind of in 2 parts over the course of maybe 6 months. I started writing it before I graduated, while I was watching all my friends decide where they wanted to go in life. That tends to be a theme in a lot of my songs, a lot of like trying to figure out who I am. And I was feeling pretty down at this time, so I wrote 2 verses that are pretty sad. They've got some not as upbeat lyrics, but then I put a stop to that song over the course of the summer when I was fully investing in my music with the Emerging Artist program and meeting all these fantastic musicians. And I came back to it at the end of the year and went back into the studio after I'd written the chorus, which has a lot more of a hopeful tone to it after the fact. So it's kind of along the lines of sometimes you got these hardships in your life and then you just realize that you need to take a breath sometimes and you need to exhale, and even the simplest of things can make you feel better, and that's kind of where I landed the song at. So.
Tears, can't cry no more. I'm weak and there's many fears of closed doors. They slam on freaks. I'll push to break them down, but close the gates to my mind. 'Cause I'm on the ground. I'm scared of fate. Need to find. I'm such a wimp, I'm out of luck. Can't you see that life's gave me a limp? I need a crutch. Can you help me up off the ground so I can stand? I don't know what you have planned. Oh, whoever you are, I'd like to know if I was placed here to live and let go. It's harder to try after you fail, but when you breathe in, remember to
That's Exhale. It's Madison Mueller on Uncover the Music, presented by BarrieUncovered.ca. Madison's with us. That's a great song. I've heard it a couple times before.
Thank you.
And you played it, was that the song you played on Global TV? When
Yes,
you were on?
exactly.
Right.
It's the acoustic version, which I really love playing, yeah.
We mentioned right before the song that you were talking about, you kind of wrote this at a point where your friends are kind of moving on and you're kind of, looking forward.
Yeah.
You are at a point in your life where it's kind of when people, not everybody, but people start to decide what they're going to do and kind of have feelings about, their independence and that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like you're pretty much set with music, but is there anything that you could see maybe that would, draw your passion away from music, that you might put music on the side, or put anything else that really drives you that might pull you away?
I don't think there would be anything that would take my focus away from music right now. I don't think I have anything that I'm nearly as passionate about at this point in my life. If I do decide to do something other than music, I think music will be incorporated somehow. I really love the idea of music therapy and helping people through music, even if it's on a smaller scale than what a big band does or something. I think that still has major influence on people's life, and I'd love to be a part of that.
And there's some incredible advancements in terms of music therapy, too. Things like dementia and mental illness and depression. It really does.
I get chills just thinking about it. So if there was really anything that really drives me and I'm passionate about, it's probably along those lines. Helping people through music. Music has helped me a lot, so I'd like to do that for others as well.
So we can't let you go without everybody that comes on the podcast has to reveal 5 truths. So we're going to uncover 5 truths about Madison Mueller. And you're sworn, if you're coming in, you're sworn to answer truthfully, okay?
Okay, all right.
First job you had?
First job I had, newspaper carrier.
Was it like on your street or sort of?
Yep, Barrie Advance.
First concert you attended?
First official concert I attended was Headley here in Barrie, but first show that I really went to and would call my first concert would be Trooper at Kempenfest, which was really cool. I love Trooper.
A movie or TV show that you are embarrassed to admit that you watched or you paid money to see?
I'm really horrible at this because any movie that I go to see in the movie theater I think is good because it's on a big screen.
Okay, think about other people that might think, oh my God, I can't believe you went to see that.
Oh, I went to see the Power Rangers movie and I get a lot of guff about that from my friends. And I loved it. I went and I saw it with my brother and my sister, and I convinced my friends to go see it with me, and they hated it and they couldn't believe that I liked it. But if a movie makes me feel good, I deem it a good movie. So
good. That's a good answer. That's a good bad movie to see that it actually wasn't that bad.
It wasn't that bad.
Yeah. Name of the first person you kissed.
Lucas.
Lucas. Is he involved in any of your songs in any way, or?
I mean, I've written some songs that are influenced there.
That were in that timeline, sort of?
I haven't released anything about it, no.
Last one. If you could invite one person, living or dead, to have a drink with, who would it be? You can pick anybody.
Pick anybody. One person.
Yeah, just one. Or a band. If it's a band, you can invite a band.
Oh boy. This answer will change all the time over the course of my life. Currently, I would love to talk with Ben Howard. Yeah.
That'd be a good conversation.
Really good conversation, I think. Yeah.
What's the best way for people to access your music? Your website, social media? How do people get to you?
You can find me anywhere if you search up either Madison Mueller or Maddie Makes Music. All my social media is under one of those two. If you search up Madison Mueller, you're bound to find me. And I'm on all the streaming sites, Spotify, iTunes, Google Play, if you search up Madison Mueller.
And we've got you on the Barrie set list, which is a Spotify list of all Barrie musicians, so you can find us there too. Excellent. Madison, thank you very much for coming and hanging out with us.
Thank you so much for having me. That's awesome.
Thanks for braving the rain. Of course, now that the interview's done, it's ended.
Of course, it's clear and beautiful now.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Weather, dogs, babies. It was a real live event.
It was a full ride.
It was a full ride.
Thank you.
Uncover the Music is an exclusive podcast produced by BarrieUncovered.ca. Subscribe to Uncover the Music on Spotify, iTunes, and wherever else you get podcasts. And find out more about us at BarrieUncovered.ca on Facebook and on Instagram. The handle is @BarrieUncovered.
You're still here? It's over. Go home.